The Manhattan Girls by Gill, published by William Morrow HarperCollins. And of course, this is a novel that's set in Manhattan, and it is very much the early 1920s, so 1921, when Prohibition is rampant. World War One has finished 3 years ago, but the ripple effects from that are still very clear, and it's still very much a man's world. And this is the story of Dorothy Parker and her clique. So there is Jane, there was Winifred, and there is Peggy. And they set up a bridge club, and that gives them the opportunity to chat through any problems, have a bit of a gossip, but really kind of hunker down in their world and try and move on. The novel opens with a cast list, which sometimes can be a bit off-putting, but it puts into perspective all the people who are going to appear, and thus gives it the sense of a setting, almost like a play unfolding. And of course, it is a fictional take on the life of Dorothy Parker, who is the central beam in all their lives, a very fragile woman. In fact, she was a Rothschild by birth, and it is reputed she had a very difficult childhood, and therefore she goes into her adult years looking for comfort, looking for just wanting to be loved, I guess. And it is how these four women cleave their way through what is such a man's world. So there is sexism, there is a lot of alcohol misuse, although prohibition is, so people are brewing their own gin in their homes and then taking them to parties. And it is the roaring 20s, it is the jazz age, but kind of behind the scenes, and I think the author captures this very well. There is a lot of heartache, there are a lot of problems, and life, whether it's marriage, whether it's trying to get a work life sorted. It is not an easy life, but there are dazzling moments, there are fragile moments, and I think what the author does really well is capture the sense of the era. So I think if you want to be transported back to jazz age New York, it's all around the Algonquin Hotel, which is an institution, I think it was built in the early 1900s, then this novel will certainly take you back in time.